Hey kids, Inverted Cow here. Welcome back to Empyrion. We are at the Mercenary homeworld and we are working on a few of the build projects that are going on and a couple other little bug things and issues that I've been working on for the server. But we're getting a little bit of progress done. I figured I'd just show you how things are progressing. If I can remember what button pushes to do what button pushes. Okay, we're going to just take a quick fly over this hill here. And what you see in the concrete
corner pieces
below us here.
The one with the glass attached is the actual column final iteration.
Is the beginning.
A nice rounded column. It's a support structure for a turret outpost on the corners. Directly in the middle is going to be a smaller.
This is the beginnings of our greenhouse, food production, food storage, that kind of thing. We've got a concrete pad down and we're starting to build the beginning of the greenhouse.
I might have to make this short.
Caden is the builder extraordinaire on this project and he's having a lot of fun from the looks of things.
Going for a grand exterior and then a kind of a greenhouse breakdown interior with scaffolding lights.
Sounds good.
So you can walk the walkway on the outside edge here. There'll be a walkway that goes too wide all the way around, so you can walk between all these pillars and look out the window and whatever. Inside here is going to be the farm area. Scaffold, and then there'll be a glass ceiling.
And then you'll have a thing on the top of the ceiling.
Right towards the mountainside, where my ship is, there'll be the corner over there.
Will be the cafeteria.
Right, the mezzanine will be on top with the cafeteria and eating, and then the reception area and food processing corner will be right there. So everything
sounds awesome.
Everything over by this corner, the whole floor area, I'm going to start taking blocks out and replacing with wood blocks to start patterning out where the plots are going to go.
Okay. I just loaded a whole bunch of wood planks into the constructor at base.
I've got 108.
Yeah, I'm taking down a POI that spawned because it's just a little village. So I'm just cleaning it right out to see if something different will spawn in its place. So we'll have lots of wood, so yeah, I wouldn't worry about it too much.
Well, and then I'll get to decorating this later. I got to get up. My wife's she's got done taking her test. And
no worries.
She wants to go out to dinner, so I'm going to take a break from this for a while.
Sounds like a good idea if you want to.
Yep, so just give you an idea where it's starting to go. I'll finish out the walls on this stuff and figure the height once I determine the mezzanine and the overall height of the windows. But I really like these 6 panels. I like the way it looks from a ground perspective.
So you want to just kind of continue this wall panel all the way around kind of thing?
Yeah, what I was going to do is do this paneling like this. I just like how open it is. I mean, a 2x2 window's big enough, but it just feels like this is more grand to look at.
Well, yeah, I mean, we need this to look, absolutely awesome.
That's what I'm going for. That's why I rounded the corners and I'm stepping them out. And I'm going to flare the outside of the building. So from the outside, it's going to look...
Where's your entrance going to be then? Over here then somewhere?
The entrance is going to be over back where my ship is. So what I'm thinking of is a stair-stepped entryway back here. up into the reception, food processing side. This whole corner area right here, the area in here, what I had planned for food processing and receiving. And then above this is going to be the hard, above me, above that floor is going to be the hard casing for the cafeteria. It opens up into a rooftop. It opens up into a rooftop mezzanine that will be on top of this area over here. You'd be on the roof, be able to sit out on the roof, and you'd be able to access the spires there, because I'm going to put central accesses in from the rooftop so you can go up and do things to the birds. And the line for where the glass roof is going to be is probably going to be like here, and then all that way. And it'll be glass top roof all the way to the edges, with ports in the middle as needed. I'm gonna have to watch the
and you were thinking of using the scaffold?
Well, what you're standing on right now, let me show you what I'm talking about here. So because of the way I built this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's one pad. That's one light, right?
Right.
So these would be, we'll pretend that these are grow plots. So that would be your grow plots. And you would have a walkway. Go ahead and move out of the way. So this would be another grow plot, and you'd have a step here. This is the way they're going to be separated, and I'll have these wood panels are just going to be placeholders for you. You guys take those out and put grow plots in as you want to. I'll put the scaffolding in and the lights on, but we don't have to turn those on until we want to use them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I'm just.
What I found is if I group the garden solid throughout the whole thing, just one big long garden, it's fast to tend it and gather it, but it doesn't look real good, and you can almost get lost if you do long rows and strips and stuff. Unless you guys want to do it that way.
No. So how far out from the wall are you thinking of coming?
Grow plots?
Yeah, grow plot wise.
About here.
So so one full block away from your wall, and then.
Right, because this is a walkway right here. So this is where you walk. So you can tour the facility around the edges. Mark that in red. Okay.
No, that's fine. I mean, that way I can help do some of the minor grunt work building and stuff.
Yeah, see, so I'm out of concrete, otherwise I'd continue the pillar portions. But I got, here, number 6, drop that.
Drop a chest or a box or whatever in the middle here and throw what you have in it, and I'll see what I can scrounge up.
Here, I'll just put down an ammo chest. That's a good enough storage facility.
Yeah, it works. Here's the other thing that's going on here is the mining facility that we were working on. As you can see, it is really coming along nicely. Again, this was molded after the Command and Conquer thing. So I'm quite impressed, even though it hasn't been painted yet. It is very impressive. This is above and beyond anything I would ever be able to create. And honestly, I think if Wally requires somebody to do building, I mean, we definitely got a person who knows this stuff for building structure, or at least copying structure. Like the details look really, really nice. I'd love to have access to some of the creative blocks to add some finishing touches and such, but, well, we'll leave that for now. But we're going to fly over to another problem that we've been having here. Over in this area here was originally 5 very tightly clustered POIs. The supply depot, which is the thing in my crosshairs now, was one that I knocked out. It killed me a lot of times, but we knocked it out and we just looted it and leveled and took our stuff from it. There was another building over in the middle between these two here, and another thing down here. Now, as I'll fly in closer to the ground, it should start to render. You'll see the big hole left from one of the structures. These are supposed to respawn every 24 hours. What's happened is these bases have become destroyed. And completely, I'm not talking just a little broken, I mean like we took every last single block possible out of that base. And this is something I put in there. It was just, this is a server admin thing that was put in to see if it would respawn. This is a glitched marker which we can remove. We're having a lot of the Greenline glitch errors, so anything that happens on the green line is usually deadly. But what happens is I've had a primitive village spawn way up here. So we take out a POI down here. I have another POI. When it respawns, it takes a different location and spawns. I mean, for us now, it's been spawning these primitive villages. I think I've actually got 2 of them now that we didn't have before. Like this divot here was a farm, and that's almost 5 days now since I took it out, and it has not respawned. But we did gain this not that one. There was a primitive village over here someplace that spawned in. This guy here spawned in after that farm. Like there was nothing here, and then boom, there's a primitive village. So I'm thinking what happens, and we're trying to figure out if it is a glitch or a bug or what, but you wipe out one of these bases and something like this primitive village respawns someplace else. Now, one of these 2 bases, the one with the marker in it, was actually it was one of the larger combat bases. I can't remember which one it was, but I was expecting, or I am expecting, to see another base of that class or that tree, however they have it labeled, show up. If that's the case, however, where you completely destroy the bases and they go away, then I'm probably going to do is come back later with the guys, and we're going to take out the drone factory and completely obliterate it, the biolab and completely obliterate it, and the supply depot and knock it completely out. We might just knock it down, and not completely erase it, but just knock it down and leave it there so that it will regenerate. That will clear off all the hostile things that shoot at us, with the exception of the supply depot, from this iron deposit, so we can build the next mining facility. The problem is, of course, I've got this one and this one, which are both within range of the panda house here, and honestly, the way it's looking, if that's the case where we have to completely obliterate POIs to be able to actually have them respawn elsewhere, I will say that we go in one day, and it's probably going to be an all-day thing, and we will completely remove Hal's House of Pandas, like erase it from the map completely, and we'll see if it respawns someplace else, preferably away from these two deposits. So we'll erase it. We're going to put base structures on each of these deposits so that all three are covered, even if they're just a marker and some concrete. The thing will identify it as a base and may say, okay, it can't be less than so close to a base, and it will move someplace else. If that's the case, it will solve the issue for a few of the other players on the map as well. Advanced base has been there since we started. Now, during the test world, I actually had 2 bases up in this area, and there's nothing here. This whole area is still void, at least when I've checked it earlier. So I'm expecting to see bases respawning in this area to see if that actually changes the way things go. If I'm not seeing that continue to happen, then yeah, we could be having some very interesting things. Maybe we actually completely void the planet of all alien infestation, and it's basically our planet to do with as we see fit at that point. I'm also having a lot of issues with the drone base, which is here, and the CV base, which is here, which neither one of which is actually showing up. So, admin issues aside, game issues aside, I am in the middle of taking out one of these smaller POIs for resources. So I'm going to go back and finish that off, and we will continue. I'll be back later. Ooh, they're shooting at me. Don't do that. It's not very nice. I'll come back later and we will look at seeing what we can do about finishing off this farm or getting another piece of this farm built, and helping out with the mining facility that Leviticus is working on. So don't go away, kids. I'll be right back. Okay, kids, we're back. I'm just helping out a little bit with the farm. The thing here that we were building on. And I noticed that there was just a bit of a miscalculation going on here, and I think I might have figured it out. So I'm going to basically stop and wait until Kalen comes back on and let him figure out what he wants to do one way or the other. But here's essentially what I see happening, and I think this might just be that he counted the wrong thing. These windows are tiles. Basically, each window is just a duplicate tile of the next. Starting with this block as 0, so this would be your 0 block, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 squares per tile. Every time you duplicate the tile, you end up at 7. Tiles duplicated ends at 7. Tiles duplicated ends at 7. So on and so forth. When we get to the end here, we have 4 tiles more than what we should have. And I'm thinking he counted his 0 number, that is the arrow at the end. So he was actually calculating this as supposed to be tiles of 8, which would have been 0 plus 7, which basically means that you would have had a 0 tile going in right here, which would move this entire row down to there, and repeat. Your tile starts here and you move this whole row down to here and start your tile, next tile there, which moves your whole row down to here, and one last time, which moves everything to there, which then you have one tile which goes into your corner, which fit. And I duplicated that. Well, I did that on this side here, where I actually did put the 7 plus 1. So every tile starts and ends at 7, and then starts. That being said, I'm looking at these and I'm going, well, now we have space to make some kind of symmetry to it. It's not just a block. We can make something. So this is half wall slopes. Which is this block here, ramped out double. And this one here is the quarter rounds, which gives you the large, or the very large round column. That of course will give you a very tight seam on your glass, and if you duplicated the round on the outside, that's fine. What you can also do is on this one, you could carry it along on the top. You could put up there the round slope or round cut corner and make it into a smooth pipe. But I think we were going for a actual connector point, because this was going to be the top where the roof itself was going to sit on. I'm going to let him work out what it is that we're going to do with this. I'm pretty much done for the night. I have to actually compile both of these videos. I was hoping to get a little bit more done tonight before I got back, but yeah, that's how it goes. Some days you get stuff done. Now I am going to show you one last thing that Chaotic Vein has been working on. This has been a pet project that he picked up tonight completely on his own. Not something I had talked to him about doing or even considered asking or anything like that. This was something he came in and said, I'm going to do this. And I went, okay, looks good. He's made these nice little underground tunnels that you can travel through fairly easily. I'm having a little bit of trouble because my guy's hungry and I'm trying to hurry. Here to a point where I should start seeing a junction where he's already started putting down concrete. And yeah, the construction lights, which don't require power to maintain, also something that I like to see, especially on pathways, because why run power out to a pathway that you don't need it? And as you can see, this tunnel is very well. He did this with a drilling machine, hover vessel type thing. I did that with the flying, the little flying thing that I'm in, and I know I could have just popped over the mountain and did it in about a third of the time. but when you're walking, running, or riding a motorbike, which is something that we really should be doing a lot more, especially with the motorcycles, that would have been a lot easier than actually going over the mountaintop. The motorbike just doesn't have the power or the force to climb that hill. There we go, fed the guy. Yeah, the motorbike doesn't have the power to climb the hills, but a flying machine does. The drawback, of course, is promethium and fuel on any kind is at a premium. I mean, we're not running around with inventories full of fuel yet. That's going to change, of course, as one, more and more people develop. Two, as we actually get off of this planet more frequently, and as the server as a whole gets more progressed. I'm also expecting to eventually start getting into space, having some larger space vessels, some of the things that I wanted to build, like the planet crackers and the heavy carrier, the assault dropship, the assault fighter craft, the heavy fighter crafts and such like that, the scout fighters and whatnot. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. As it is, we have a couple of people with starter SVs. Not everybody's up and running yet, but we're getting there. So I'm going to say thanks all for watching, kids, and good night for now.